studios for the main event. It's the place where opinions are welcome. In fact, we encourage you to take the gloves off and throw a few punches at the news of the day. It's not fair and balanced, it's opinion. And we have two guests who are ready to share theirs. Our first is a first time in the ring with us, Travis McCauley. Now, you are the owner of Smoke and Stokes Barbecue in Greenville, but you're also a Chemtrail YouTube poster, and we'll get to that in just a second. Lee Rogers, a friend of the show, got a lot of fans out there. You're from all the time. Newscaster, WORD Radio. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Let's jump into the ring. We're going to jump into the ring with the likes of Prince, Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, and even Jesse Ventura. They are all supporters of something called Chemtrails. Something you might think is just a cloud in the sky where an airplane went by. Whereas some would say, it was once presented to Congress that we spray microscopic aluminum in the atmosphere. Why would they do this? To control weather, global warming even. Some believe it was not only proposed, it is actually being done. Travis, you're one of those people. You take pictures here in Greenville and post them. What's your fear about these chemtrails?
Well, the health risks of them, we don't know exactly what they have in them. There's patents for aluminum to go into jet fuel, which was a 1990 Hughes aviation patent. And we know that the White House science czar, John Holdren, is actually proposing Geo-Engineering, which is essentially spraying the atmosphere with particulates such as aluminum.
And so far, these are only propositions. In fact, Lee, I don't think you're buying this, and many out there watching are saying, this is hogwash.
Well, there's the possibility, there's things going on the government's doing we don't know about. I'm not sure this is one of them.
But I'll agree with that.
But it seems like it would be very hard to keep this type of conspiracy from becoming public, because we do such a poor job of trying to keep things secret to begin with. We can't cover up waterboarding, we can't cover up Abu Ghraib that happened, the other conspiracies that people want to mention, we haven't been able to keep those quiet. And so if this is going on, the government's involved in changing the weather, it looks like somebody would be ratting on them at some point.
Yeah, and what do you say to that, Travis?
Well, I would say that there's government documents. I would say that there's a 1992 report called Policy Implications of Greenhouse Warming, where they proposed this in 1992. We started seeing this phenomenon in the mid-90s, where there's checkerboards across the whole sky, and it's just ruining our sky cover.
I think that after this segment, we're going to have a lot of folks watching the skies a lot closer, probably going on YouTube to find your post, and I would encourage folks to look up, whether you believe it or not, what in the world are they spraying? It's a great documentary if you've never seen it.
NASA's Messenger spacecraft delivers historic photographs of Mercury, the first images of the small rocky planet ever taken from its own orbit. The first image shows a cratered region of the planet's south pole, never before photographed. It's just one of 364 pictures that Messenger snapped before downlinking some of the data to the spacecraft's handlers at NASA. Over a period of 3 days, Mercury is scheduled to capture 1,185 more images of the closest planet to the Sun. The craft arrived at Mercury on March 17th, more than 6.5 years after its launch from Earth. Its mission is the first ever to orbit the planet, but it's not the first to visit. NASA's Mariner 10 flew by the planet 3 times in the mid-1970s. Travis Brecker, Reuters.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Thursday, March 31st, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome to part 4. This is the final part for this news video for today. And you can check out this poll. When do you believe the US dollar will cease to be the world reserve currency? You have choices of within the next 12 months, within the next 2 years, eventually, but not sure when, or will never happen. My website is www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. All right, well, just a quick comment on that video, on the chemtrail video. Of course, anytime I see stuff like that, where you'll have someone on there basically to discredit whatever is being discussed about chemtrails, it just, it gets my blood boiling, and I don't know, it's like, what do? You can't do anything, and that's the predicament. That is what you call tyranny. Seriously, it's a violation of our free will, and whether that person on the right, the quote skeptic, believes that it's happening or not is irrelevant, because it's happening, right? I mean, I was watching, and this I'm going to go to this point real quick and move on to the rest of the news. I watched that movie The Witness about 4 days ago for the first time about the Amish community. And it takes place in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania, a real Amish community. And one of the things I noticed was that every single shot in the film that was outside on that Amish community had chemtrails over it. And I mean, I'm not talking about like from Red Dawn or other movies, even from the 70s that have chemtrails in them, where there's only one streak, you know. These shots in The Witness were like today, where it's nothing but the whole sky isn't even blue anymore. It's just white from chemicals, and then big checkerboard lines. And that was in 1985. 85. And then you had Owning the Weather, weather force multiplier. Basically, it was a white paper issued to or written for the Air Force about basically spraying the atmosphere with black carbon among other chemicals in order to create rain as far as cloud seeding, but also to create artificial ionosphere to jam rockets and communications and all that other good stuff. So basically what I'm saying is this has been going on for a long time. It's been going on. I mean, they were trying this back in the 50s. The U.S. Navy was trying to cloud seed and was spraying in the 50s. So this has been going on for at least 60 years, not even from the 90s. So, but my point is, okay, is that even the Amish who rebel against the government, who pretty much rebel against the church that they were associated with before, just want to be left alone, right? And they can't. Why? Because they're still being sprayed. That is a violation of free will. And when I'm not associated with any church, but I will say that Lucifer runs this planet. And so basically under that Luciferian doctrine, which if you read that letter by Albert Pike, basically says that the Luciferian doctrine will be imposed, and it's happening right around this time. And it strips basically all of your free will. So you have no right to self-determination, and that is not a world or a life I want to be in. So whoever that person on the right is needs to check themselves and check their morals. The other thing too is this is a correction update. It said that no, there aren't any keyloggers on Samsung laptops. So they said basically has been cleared of these allegations. Okay, moving on. Republicans to grill FCC chief on Google spy probe, and then Sockpuppet Planet, the secret state's quest for persona management software, and you can check that out. Links will be posted. Well, hopefully they will. America's third war, and we have American teens recruited by Mexican drug cartels. Then Napolitano's comments on border are wrong. Border Patrol Union disagrees with her assertion that the area is safer now and open for business. That's what she said. Ex-cops go to prison in post-Katrina killing. That's right, and that's what will happen when the shit hits the fan. You'll just see cops shooting innocent people if they don't go and get in line. But because it hasn't happened yet, basically they're going to have to slap them on the wrist and do whatever and make an example out of them, right? Trial balloon, Leon Panetta, the director of the CIA, to replace Robert Gates at the Pentagon. That sounds great, right? Maybe we could have General Petraeus as our next president, right? We could have a nice military dictatorship. Next U.S. terror attack might come from new toys. And then we have prominent Chinese blogger charged as crackdown deepens. Fukushima workers threatened by heat bursts. And it says here, Japan reviewing water tests showing iodine at 10,000 times limit. Fukushima meltdown update, Celsium in the soil, ocean waters contaminated, and fuel core meltdown now underway. Radiation still leaks in the Japan Sea. And then we have Japan leaves bodies over radiation fears. And it says here there were 1,000 bodies of victims of the destructive earthquake and tsunami hit Japan's northern coast have been left untouched with the evacuation zone around Fukushima nuclear plant. Because it's just so dangerous. Israel hit with Japan-linked radiation. Then Japan radiation detected in at least 15 states and in milk samples in Washington state. Then U.S. detects trace amounts of radiation in milk, poses no threat to human health. So you go ahead and you believe your government. You believe this propaganda BS, right? Some radiation tracking air monitors may not be working properly. And this was from March 21st. And this was a little propaganda piece to say, oh, if the U.S. Air monitors do track radiation that are high, oh, that's just because they're malfunctioning, you see. Japan rejects IAEA's evacuation advice. And I just want to say, they really think we're that stupid. Unfortunately, there are enough stupid sheep out there that make up the majority. But I don't think they're going to be there too long, because eventually the reality is going to hit them smack dab in the face, and they won't be able to refuse or reject it anymore. TEPCO to scrap 4 reactors at Fukushima nuclear plant. Japan crisis drags. France want global nuclear reform. So, of course, problem, reaction, solution. Maybe this was a solution, guys, right? To be able to just shut down nuclear plants no matter what. This is my theory. I proposed it to a friend of mine. I think that the whole nuclear energy programs that have been going on for the past 50 so years have nothing to do with nuclear energy, but nuclear weapons. Of course, I think we all know that, but basically, that's what's going to be. That's how it's going to be, and they're going to shut down like Iran's nuclear program and all these other people who want to defend themselves against the New World Order. And they're going to say, "Oh, you're building weapons," while they're using it for energy, and they're really using it and planning for weapons. That's my thing. I think that they're going to shut down the nuclear programs worldwide so they can stockpile all the nuclear energy to create weapons. So we might have a nice nuclear holocaust set off by Israel and Iran. Japanese distrust official media, and I wonder why, because they're not covering it. Japan nuclear crisis, Fukushima, 50 expect to die, who have been fighting to bring the reactors under control at Japan's strict nuclear plant, expect to die from radiation sickness, according to the mother of one of the men. It says heroic Fukushima workers believe they will die within weeks, and this is a crazy story. I mean, I was thinking about this. These guys are getting paid $5,000 a day, but they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're out there risking their lives, and they know that they're going to die. And the IAEA is telling them to evacuate. And no, we're not evacuating. You know what I mean? Just because HARP wanted to buzz our freaking country because they didn't like us, and they wanted to, basically take over our economy. You know what I mean? They have a lot of audacity, man, this world government. Dr. Emoto requests assistance for Japan in the form of prayer and positive intention. So anyways, if you can, give a little shout out, a little prayer for them, that'd be great. It says here, no apparent link between earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, U.S. geophysicists. And I thought this was a bunch of crap, because if you know anything about geology, you know that when the plates pretty much go and subduct in that, basically all of that lava goes down, and then it shoots up out of the volcano, and it's a very good chance that could happen. But they're saying, no, it's not possible. So I don't know anything, I guess. 1 million affected in Thailand floods. And then it says here, FDA examines link between food dyes and hyperactivity. The FDA is examining the link between dyes found in everyday foods and hyperactivity. Remember, I reported this, and I told you what the FDA's purpose was. Oh, the panel rejects food dye warnings. Well, that's their effing job, to protect the eugenics corporations. Insider trading case puts focus on key FDA system. And then when fluoride spill at water facility literally burns holes in the parking lot cement. Then federal regulators betray the public's trust. And then we have Commerce Department forbids biologists from releasing data regarding Gulf dolphin deaths. Then Arizona outlaws abortions based on race and sex. Family policy, one-child policy relaxed in Beijing for more couples. Catholic school bans gay cure seminar at Caboolture. Then highly contagious AIDS-like disease spreading in China. Unconstitutional vaccine rights bill keeps coming. And then we have official kids gave flu shot with found needle. Of course, why? Because he's already brainwashed that vaccines are good for him. India census population goes to 1.2 billion. President of India launches 2011 polio campaign. So there's how you fix it. Sudan polio immunization campaign commences. And then we have farmers and seed producers launch preemptive strike against Monsanto. Yay, eugenics, fewest brides for 100 years. I wonder why. Women prefer pets. Wonder Woman dressed like a slut, and people are outraged, so she changes it. A perfect body. Women would swap a year of life for a perfect body. 12-year-old Dutch girl gives birth while on a school trip, and beer brings horse back from the dead. Don't believe in wives' tales. Wind turbines hit bat population. And Chavez of Venezuela receives Argentina Press Award. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you, guys.